his blog, lo and behold, what do I find? What is in there? Here is this man that thinks that him and I are birds of a feather. Maybe he was even drawn to me, attracted to me, precisely because I was tall. I was still somewhat slender. I look like a model. I look like something that was like me. Like I said, you know, these men, they divorce their wives and then they go and they marry women that look like their wives, like, or even women that they strung along for years. You will know that we do Massimula, that chick that used to go to my high school. But that's not irrelevant. That's not relevant. I just felt like I needed to mention it because I want to name drop. Okay. Yeah. Oh, gangs of instrumental. Her man that she was with for 16 years out here went and married after dragging her through the mud and not marrying her. For 16 years they had children and everything. What you complicated uchata. And then miss out like somebody that out here represented South Africa at Miss Universe. And then proposes marriage to her. But when you look at the chick that he proposed to that was in Miss Universe, she just looks like the younger version of Vidumelo Bayafana. My ex-boyfriend and I, after we broke up, he started dating chicks that look like me. It's like there is a home base, but they messed up with it so bad that they have to go and find a newer version, a more refined, a younger version of it. And then they marry it because men at some point, even though they are avoiding marriage, realize that they need to get married. Okay, whatever. That chick that dude married. It's just that Witumelo is older now, while that chick is 29. So I wouldn't be surprised if I looked like that dude's ex-wife. I didn't see her. All I know is that I saw his children in a photograph out just swimming, jumping into a swimming pool. And this guy, when he came and gave me the mixtape, yeah, because he was trying to introduce me to his life. When I'm better as a wife, this guy, when he gave me that mixtape, he also told me about, I got these 2 daughters that I really love, and they also like this music. He was trying to let me know that I have got 2 kids, and I'm divorced, but I want to marry you. I don't want your kids. But when I went in his Facebook, I saw his daughters, and they were like him, kind of tall, African young girls, that were gonna grow into their bodies, and not today they're probably killing it. They might even be modeling. I don't know. He had beautiful girls, right? And they were the only ones that I saw in his Facebook, but I didn't see his wife. So, likely Msaidwa Haye, Msaidwa Haye was also a model. However, career fizzled. Likely, I'm speculating, I can't confirm that. Was likely a model. But then she got older, and dude got. She sat at home, and then he decided that I'm gonna betray the living daylights out of you, but he wanted something similar to his wife, but one that had the ambition that his wife lacked. So I decided, Karabo, she's the one. She's tall, she's slender, she looks like a model because she's my type. And so he Googled me, found me, decided to tell me upon giving me a mixtape that he's got 2 daughters that he loves, and I'm like, good for you, daddy. Okay, good for you out there loving your little girls. Now, bye. Okay. I didn't respond as he hoped I would. This man, I didn't respond the way that he hoped I would. And so because I did not respond the way he hoped I would, that's when then the calamities I saw. That's when the calamities befell me. That's when the world fell apart and cracked on the floor like a vase that's been broken by an angry lady upon finding out her husband cheated. After that day with the mixtape, he was so angry at me. He was so mad at me. He was so violent that in one dream I was in this environment I did not understand what in the world I was in the midst of, and encircling me was like just a presence of danger that I could understand. It was almost like going like that around me. Voo, voo, voo. Mara. In the center of this thing there were like 6 or 7 men shrouded in black garments. 6 or 7 men shrouded in black garments, hoodied garments. In the center, in the middle of them was like something that looked like angazi, whatever it was. They were just over it, okay? They were just over it. And these men wearing these robes, Ezzy black, these hoodied robes, Ezzy black, chanting over this thing in the center that I couldn't see. Nonetheless, behind them was me standing there in a very unstable environment, encircling me almost like it was going at a very fast pace. Like have you seen the rings around an atom? Yeah. How they just go really fast, and on them are like, is it protons or neutrons or what? Like there was something just encircling me like that, and just this environment is very unstable, almost like earthquakey. While these men in the center are doing like a chant, okay? And then appeared on my head a most scarlet red apple. Like, listen, it was scarlet red. Like, if I tell you the way that apple was just so incredibly crystal red on my head, it stuck out in that dream, seeing as everything was just shrouded in darkness. The room in and of itself was whitish. The thing encircling me was black. That was going voo voo voo. The men were wearing black hooded garments. I couldn't see their faces. They were just like darkened in the center. And so therefore, this apple was the only thing of color in this joint. And it was a scarlet red that was evident. Like, it was just so, it stuck out so much how red this apple was. And I would come to associate the color red with witchcraft later on. Okay? Nonetheless, whatever, this red Granny Smith apple, and Granny Smith are the gray, are the green ones, right? No, it was a red apple. Anyway, whatever, it was on my head. Despite how unstable this environment was and how much it was quaking, this apple, nonetheless, no matter how much I moved, thanks to how movie this room was, it was full of movement, and this apple would just not budge. And then, listen to this. Though I couldn't see their faces, I, however, saw this guy walking into the room. So the guys that were doing the ritual, I wasn't able to see their faces, but they turned. Though I wasn't able to see their faces, still they were shrouded in this like hoodie. They turned and they had these like silver guns. All of them, they were like pistol sized, okay? And all of them just started shooting, dog. Like, all of them just started shooting at the apple on my head on some ducket. Like proper. I was so scared in my dream, and every last one of them went for this apple. Point. They all missed. Ultimately, this guy walks into this room. I see him, because God always exposes who did this witchcraft. Nyambona, standing in this room at a distance, and then he felt frustrated by the fact that all his boys could not get to the apple. They kept missing it. But I was in so much fear in my dream. I was in so much fear because they kept shooting at me. And listen, I did not view them as shooting at the apple. They were shooting at me because it was on my head. I was so scared. I was so panicked. I was so scared, and I felt like I was incarcerated even though there were no ropes around me. But the thing that kept on going voo 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 around me. But the way they keep on missing the apple and me, everything around me, they just keep missing. This dude stands there, walks into a room, feels frustrated that his colleagues are failing on a mission where I am concerned, and then grabs his own gun that also was a silver pistol out here glistening. These pistols were so shiny silver. They looked metallic, shiny, like, yeah. He then takes his own out on some witchcraft. Like, you are wasting my time, all of you. Why are you failing to get to this woman? What's wrong with you? Why are you failing to get to her? So he grabs his own gun. I see him coming and I recognize him, and I'm like, what the heck? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? And then he goes and he's like, bah! And he succeeds to shoot the apple off my head, but does not get to me. These guys out to be mocking me on some ducket, miss the apple. He gets comes from somewhere, takes out his own pistol and then goes bah, and shoots the apple. It shatters on my head. And then I wake up from the tree. When I woke up, I was like, what the heck? Why did I see Kimi in my dream looking like that? Did I call him Kimi? Kima? Yeah. Why did I see this guy in my dream? And why was he in that capacity? At that stage, my dreams, I did not understand them. They said they understand. I just would get these horrible dreams. I didn't understand them. It would only be once I lost everything when I would start to finally see what my dreams were showing me. God was showing me that this guy is heavily involved in a secret society. And he tried to come at you through stuff, through people, through stealth. And now he is angry. He was so livid. Because I rejected his advances. He was mad. He was entitled. He was so angry that he thoroughly sent men in a cult on me, that in a dream threatened with shooting me. They missed my body, they missed the apple, and then he came and he hit the apple. And then the dream ended. That was not the last dream that I got about this guy. The next one, I was in some clandestine, shrouded, dark room where I had, like, there was this one ex-boyfriend of mine that I had that passed away, and I was on the floor fornicating with him. In Lahore, there was a bed, and on the side of the bed, we were on the floor, not even on the bed. We were on the floor, not even on the bed, and we were fornicating on the floor. And this guy was the one that locked me in a room to do this thing with my dead ex. He sent so much death on me, and he tried to come in between, obviously, romantic prospects. Because what am I doing fornicating with a late ex-boyfriend on the floor, not even on a bed, therefore degrading me to just a hit it and quit it, a one night stand or whatever. And he's the one that locked me in this bedroom. I can talk from that dream. I'm like, why is this guy willing such things for me? Like what's going, like, listen, no, when I woke up, I didn't say, why is he willing this for me? Because I didn't understand my dreams. When I woke up, I was like, why am I dreaming about this guy like this? Why am I dreaming about him in this capacity? What's going on? Yeah, then you would never know that he was that mad. You would never know that he was big mad like that. Proper. Because he was still like, hi Garabo, but like he, what do you call this thing? The rejection was just so poignant that he was like, listen, I tried. And you snacks. Your blog that I found, that was the next dream. I'll tell you about the other one, but the blog that I found, the thing that turned me off him once and for all, once he came to my desk, told me about his daughters, and gave me the mixtape, the USB with music in it. I decided to look him up. I found him on, what do you call this thing? I found a blog of his, and I read it. And in this blog, this dude is out here tearing apart the institution of marriage, speaking about how it's overrated, speaking about how it is that even the whole big white wedding, how expensive marriage can get, it's not. Mamela, I am a single woman, never been married. I'm still very bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'm still looking forward to the picket fence. I still want a man to be very elaborate in proposing marriage to me, and I still want the big, beautiful Greek wedding, like the movie. I still want the white wedding, the walking down the aisle, I'm out here still romanticizing all that. And then I open a blog of a man that wants me as a second wife, and he's out here tearing apart the institution of marriage and speaking about how all that whole elaborate white wedding thing is just too much of an overkill. I was like, okay, you've done the time, of course, because you've been married before, and you want to come and grab a bride that's never touched these streets and make me sign cocoa thing. Is that what you want to do? You want to make me quick read, let's get your uncle and then give him 15,000. Make me wear some cute dress at court. I've never been married, and I'm very glorious. Look, listen, I'm beautiful. I am waiting for my day. I'm waiting for my turn. I'm waiting for my husband. I'm waiting for the man that's gonna say of me that this at last is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. Okay? I'm waiting for a man that's gonna say this at last is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. And then when he says that, thoroughly go and very honorably pay ilobola to my family members. Kube nama celebrations. Wonke umuntu angilahlele i-bridal shower. Wonke umuntu angilahlele size wedding registry. Nginikeza ama invitations. All over the show, la estradini, to see what I want in my envelopes, my centerpieces. I also want to go cake tasting. I want to go basically all the things that you do when you're about to get married. I was like, I still want to do all that. You've done it, and you are tired of it, and you don't want to do it, but you know you want a marriage, you want a wife, you want umfazi endlini to also be out here chilling with your children, but you don't want to give a young woman that's never been married before all that opportunity. Like, I won't go off the shelf, but you see, this guy was a heavy partner, a practitioner. That thoroughly was the kind of thing that is up. He was a disease in South Africa. Do you understand what I'm saying? Herein lies a man in his late 30s gazing at a woman that's 28 years old, that's never married. She is somebody's wife, and this guy rocks up like a bat out of hell and says, I want you though. This woman is out just sitting, like kneeling down, praying to God for a husband, and then this guy's like, I want you, but like, he's married. God does not regard his divorce, and he's got 2 children. I'm childless. I've never been married. I've never had my day. And here's a man that's tired of marriage, out here reviling it in his blog, speaking about how the institution is overrated, and how even in the Bible, these very heavy, hectic celebrations for marriage were not necessarily a common theme, except the first miracle that Christ ever did was at a big, fat, chunky Greek wedding. But instead of it being Greek, it was a Jewish wedding. I just had to say Greek because that's what the movie says. The first miracle that Christ did was at a wedding, and he turned water into wine. So what do you mean that the Lord does not care about a big, fat, chunky celebration for Lenyalo when his first miracle, though reluctant to do it, was at a wedding? And here's this guy reviling Lenyalo lelikima le mosare le batlang, when it was important for the Lord God Almighty to turn water into wine because it ran out at a big fat chunky Jewish wedding. Why can't I get a big fat chunky wedding that the Lord is after going to turn water into wine at, when I am his servant, when I'm his baby girl, when I'm his daughter lady, when I'm his pampered servant? Why would the Lord not do that for me? Why would the Lord give me a man that just died, like Papa, I spend that chelete, and he can out to turn water into wine at my wedding? So budwam, it's gonna pumuphele jarting awumemanga lana Crenshaw, wangikwatela indoda endala enabantwana abayi-2 enomfazi amdivosayo for the wrong reasons. ufike lana wathi nani ufuna grapes ukarabo. Who is she? Who does Karabo belong to? Someone else, not you. And so much so does Karabo belong to someone else, oh alpha male, and not you? That you, everything that she is waiting on me for, are we turned? No, but you've done it. You've been there. You've done that. You've got the t-shirt. Brother, you have done it all. And now you want to rock up and make my daughter forget about the wedding where I'm going to turn water to wine. You want my child to forget about all that. That's what's happening in this country. And that's why that lady was saying in my vision, in my word of understanding, that I married a Midianite. That's a Midianite, a raider. In daughter that's gonna go and grab somebody's bright and bushy-tailed spunky young daughter and marry her. In daughter that's gonna go and grab a bright-eyed bushy-tailed spunky young daughter of somebody that belongs to some other man and use such hectic hard knock rituals on her that she will end up marrying him and be very disquieted about the whole, like all the events encircling Lingalo Lahai. And yet this guy's out on some and big weddings are overrated. Honey, let's just go sign, go court date. Come on, baby, but I love you. You know the two of us are, you know, birds of a feather, mamela. We're gonna, it's you and me against the world. Yeah, you and me against the world, against also all that which are asked from God in prayer. How much money you spent your first wife. You've done all that and you're feeling that that tend to be a little bit feet dragging when it comes to wedding preparations. And so for him to go to that another time, it's like, why? Why under heaven are you even putting yourself through the exhaustion of planning a wedding for a second time unless you've been widowed? It's because you are busy divorcing spouses and then you meet single women and you actually want to grab the dream of the white wedding, that whole prissy, lovely, something bought, something new, something whatever from her. You want to go and take the beautiful bouquet moment from a young woman, because unless of course you're like Prophet Lofi and you are to go and give your second wife a big wedding too, like you that nasty. Okay, Lenja Lena, in his blog, he was out here reviling the institution of marriage, but he also spoke a whole chunk about Christ. His whole bio in there, he was like a child, a son of the living God and whatnot. He spoke about how he's the son of Jesus, blah blah. And he was well written. I won't take that away from him. He was exceptionally well written, very eloquent, just as he was eloquent even in speaking. And like I said, birds of a feather, piece of a pod, but he's out here using his talents and his gifts for the devil. And then when I rejected him because he felt like I was right up his alley, his size, because I told namnya bala, namnya kuluma, namnya this, namnya nyamfanela. So we are beautiful people that keep on getting scouted at malls when we walk over there, because aren't we just handsome and beautiful respectively? And then when I rejected him, not in so many words, no matter what he tries. Another chick that was my friend, out here flirted with some like grizzly bear in front of me, and I was turned off by that, but he thought that I would be turned on. Sent me music from artists that I can't listen to, and then told me about his daughters. I'm like, over and above, like, but my stepmom. I didn't say it in so many ways. I just out to receive his music and said thank you, kept his USB, didn't give it back. And then he got mad, got big mad. Maybe if I had given back his USB, he might have not have been that mad. Or something. You don't know how much I paid for this USB. Baby, you didn't tell me to give it back to you. Anyway, whatever. He could have just come to my desk and yanked it out, man. Come on, MTN kept on giving us USBs like they were handing out food at a food drive. Like, if it was about the USB, dude, I can buy you 3 today. I know, Malenja Leang Luisa, yo, dog. He tried like proper, it's like he became homicidal. Nabata, we get talk up, and what was with me being shot? Toho, Modima, Apple, threatened. And then shot the apple off. He didn't kill me, he didn't shoot me, but he certainly gave me so much fear of death because there was so many threats encircling me. So I don't know if there was a death ritual or something that would make my life hella uncomfortable. I don't know. Mara, what in the world under heaven? This man, then I dream about me being locked in a room to fornicate with a dead ex. And I'm like, why are you doing this to me? And then I lose everything, right? As a result of a combination of a whole chunk of crazy witchcraft. Now, I don't think this dude was necessarily interested that I should lose my career. Just the prospect at marriage, and I don't know, maybe just fear. I don't know what the dream of the shooting was about. Listen, I don't know what that was telling me. I don't want to go so far as to say this guy wanted me dead. Like, because in my dream, listen, these men kept on shooting at an apple on my head. But I could have died. I don't know what that dream was supposed to achieve. Maybe just fear. Fear of what? I don't know. The next one, I was in some position where I was just a whore, doing strange things, fornicating with a dead man. And he was the one that put me in that position. Yes, the spiritual war. These people make people, yeah, thank you. Maybe that's what their dream with the apple meant. Fear, a prey. Saying of the Anakim that we're going to become a prey because there are giants in the land. He just wanted to show nobody says no to me, babe. Be afraid, jump when I say how high. Sorry, say how high when I say jump. I'm out here burn firecrackers at your feet, baby, and you're gonna go and you're gonna hop up and down like oil in a frying pan. Oh, understand? No one says no to me. I think he was just flexing. He was just trying to show me, do you know who I am? No one says no. Yo, Ndota, if at all I go and marry a guy that shows that is that mad at me because I'm rejecting it. But in waking life, he's like, hi, Garabo. Dude, weren't you gonna kill me in a marriage? GBV? I don't know. I don't think he was out just slapping his wife, but he certainly was slapping me. Maybe the reason why he got all that angry was because I was a child of God, and when you have got the Spirit of God in you, people manifest a lot more aggression. So listen, I don't know what's going on with this dude, but certainly his outward character, the nefarious monster that I saw in my dreams, you would never see him. The nefarious monster that I saw in my dreams, you would never see him in waking life. So I guess it makes sense why you women marry Amalekites. That's why you marry Midianites. You're able to marry them because they present so well and they essentially don't lose their cool in a way that would show everyone around, oh, this is a monster. But I saw a monster in my dream because I rejected him so many times. All the advances that he made in trying to come all up in my grill, I rejected them. And so because I rejected them, I can't say he tried to kill me. Listen, I don't know what that dream was, but I think he was just saying Irempe to me. Because there was darkness encircling me. There was an apple on my head, and I was target practice. When you're dealing with that without Christ, what are you gonna do? Maybe today he's telling himself that that's why you're 41 without a husband. And this is why I'm here to let you know that Nizopuma out of this, like it or not. It's 7:16 in the morning and we still are not even at the very heart of this matter that I'm talking about. So may the Lord give me grace to just speak as much as I need to speak, that you might understand what we're doing here. What we're standing up against. Those are the ritualists of South Africa. They be out there hanging out with you in the office and you end up marrying them. They're other people's husbands, but they insist on taking you as a bride. Herein lies this brother man in these streets, evidencing that he belongs to a secret society, a cult. Well, of course, you belong to a cult, my baby, because weren't you in the entertainment industry as a model? Who introduced you to a cult so strong, so heinous, and so heavy that you now today would evidence yourself as very strong in it, to a point of being even in a position of leadership in it, and so therefore able to be frustrated with your colleagues in the occult upon doing a seance on your behalf. And when then they fail, you then come up with your own pistol and shoot at me, because I guess the Holy Spirit was covering me enough for his colleagues to be too amateur, but then he managed to shoot the apple. So he was in some kind of position of leadership. But in the office, though he was in a position of leadership, even in the office, he nonetheless was not so strong in his career. But I wouldn't be surprised today if he is something hectic, just out there in the business arena, because he has connections through a cult. He had connections through a cult. This dude rocked up, I believe, on contract at MTN, and all of a sudden he was everywhere in the business, emceeing events across the company, like as in if any, like he was just like a speaker. Ingati, he was paid over and above his regular salary as an employee, just contracted to represent the company in the official capacity. This guy had connections. He had, anyway, whatever. That was the nature of this human being. I didn't lose everything. Like I said, I don't believe he cost my career, but he certainly exploited the loss of it. Nah, he did call. He was among those. The dog that I got about this guy, I lose everything. And now that I am sitting at home after being fired without cause from my 9 to 5 that kept a sister alive, I then get this dream where I am in a tennis court, playing a match with this one horrible, beastly, nefarious, most absolutely psychopathic bamboon of a chick, Kosa girl in the office. And she wasn't even the main villain in Waking Life, but she was behind the scenes with witchcraft. In Waking Life, if at all Waking Life people were represented in that dream, it would have been the Indian chick with whom, the Indian chick that I said was my bestie, it would have been her with whom I was out there playing a tennis match, or even my boss. But in my dream, it was somebody that was not even all that involved in my case. This here Kosa nasty. And Gimonorile have the Kosa snacks. Yo, get busy making like Serena Williams, playing a tennis match, Chere's snacks on the opposite side of the tennis of the court. I slayed her. Like if I tell you I slayed this woman, like I won that match. I won. Tennis ball. She lost. Because she lost, and there wasn't the whole tennis match. There were, what do you call this thing? The spectators watching it, and they were not cheering for me. They were cheering for her. The spectators who were watching the tennis match, were cheering for Yena. So therefore they were crossing their fingers for me to lose. And during the time that the tennis match was going, it was dead quiet. And go, I beat her to a pulp. I win. And because I won and not her, everybody in that audience, and I missed the audience, were people that I knew, that I recognized, that were colleagues at MTN. However, others of the crowd, because it was just jam-packed, they were just random spectators. Oh fella, they booed my win. And they insisted at that tennis match to give her the crown, the trophy. Listen, I obviously in broad daylight won my war, my contest. And yet this chick she made the crowd favored her. They were quiet after I won. They booed me and insisted anyway. That was God showing me the climate of South Africa, the climate of, in particular, corporate South Africa. You've been handed over to Midianite rule. You've been handed over to occult practitioners like that beastly Xhosa chick from work. You are at the mercy of occult practitioners, and even Christians who win against the occult nonetheless lose because the country chooses them. That's what that dream was showing me. Go. I beat her to a pulp. She gets the trophy, and when she gets the trophy, everybody now cheers her. What the heck? Why are you celebrating a woman that I beat in broad daylight, like was in front of you? The match was in front of you. I was evidently the winner. There was no two ways about this. Listen, enough surveillance is encircling all of us for me to get the trophy. Why are you robbing me of my win? And then when I started to complain, what the heck, why are you giving this chick my trophy? I won, evidently. I just beat her to a pulp. I even hit her with a tennis ball on the cheek. Because I was lamenting. They were like, and I was in so much pain in my dream upon realizing that I played a match in public. I won it. You gave the trophy to someone else, and when then I essentially appealed, you ngapelad me and told me asikfuni. Because of everybody ngapelaring me and saying I need funi, it broke my heart enough to let it go. I could not believe the injustice right there in my dream that I was enduring at the hands of this merciless crowd right next to this witchy chick. This chick is another story for another day. I'm not going to be out to telling you all the dreams I got about her, but this dream was interwoven with this chick and this dude. And right now I'm talking about this dude. So all like it's like what guy, and I say, listen, it's already 7:23 in the morning. I ain't got no time to be telling you all the nasty dreams I got about all these crazy witches. Zonke lezi satani, all of us African nice so cool man. I'd be here all day and all night and all week. Okay, herein lies this bamboon losing. I didn't realize that people, I've been under justice. They just don't give two hoots. I realized that people don't care about justice because it's just not what they're doing today. Yeah, they've got another flavor on their tips, on the tips of their tongues for the day, and it's not giving carabo, so whatever. And I miss them with people that I would have relied on, and they would have, in waking life, I would have imagined they would take, of course, my side, because they were not even all that tight or close with that chick, but they were tight and close with me. But they betrayed me. Like I said, some of the people I recognized in my dream, but others were complete strangers. I lose this tennis match, my heart gets broken enough for me to let go and not try to continue to appeal. I realize that I'm not going to win because the whole cancerous crowd does not care about the truth. Alright? So all forlorn with my face on the ground, dragging myself through the mud, I then walk out of that tennis court on some, I'm not going to win here. It's too much of a crowd and they don't care about justice or the truth. And it was at the door, basically leaving, when you leave a tennis court, there's like this fence gate thing that you get out through. As I got out through that tennis fence court place drenched, I came in to give this guy. I came in to give this guy, and he was tall. Okay, listen, this guy is tall in waking life, but in this dream he was even taller. He looked, there is this like figure of a man in my dream that I keep on dreaming about, and it always speaks to something very evil. It's tall and very skinny. This guy was tall and slender in waking life, but this here was much taller. It's like, if at all you dream a whole bunch, some of y'all would know that you've seen this figure a lot. In my dreams, it's tall and it's very skinny. It actually looks like the guy without the head, without the neck in the movie Despicable Me. There is some other magician guy with a top hat that's very tall, lanky, skinny, and he's like, it's excessively tall and very skinny and lanky. Like, it's lanky too, in that it's not standing straight with a posture almost with square shoulders like a very built man, but it's just tall, skinny, shrouded, dark figure that's got the image of a human being. So it's got arms, legs, a torso, a head, but it's excessively tall, it's skinny, and it's also lanky. in the sense that it looks like it's not necessarily, like I said, square shoulders, standing like a man. And this guy had that figure on him, but I saw his face and I saw it as the guy from work, that while in waking life the dude is indeed tall, is indeed like slender, he nonetheless is a whole man that stands with square shoulders in waking life. That there was the Lord showing me the spirit in him. It was not him. He was taller even than in waking life. Okay, yeah, this is this dude that I actually seeing. And in my dream, this particular figure has a top hat. Man, this time this guy was not wearing a top hat, because in waking life he didn't wear hats. He didn't wear top hats, right? In waking life the guy did not wear top hats. So this time around, it didn't have a top hat, but the ones that I keep on seeing in my dreams were a lot of times did wear top hats. He actually rocked up and my man, like, he was the only person there to comfort me. Essentially, this man was obsessed, okay? He was the only one there to comfort me when everybody else was treating me like trash. I say this time and time again, these people operate in a Hegelian dialectic. They cause disaster in a person's life and then they rock up and play Prince Charming. If you want a woman strongly enough, he will decimate her life and cause injustice to befall her. Make the world disregard that she won a competition. And then when she's crying, because why you also mean, he then is like, baby, I got you. I'm sorry. Why they like this to you though? They're so snarks. This dude rocked up at that gate and received me in a way that everybody else had rejected me. And look at what happened next in the dream. I find myself in like some kind of a kasi, and in this kasi there are so very many of hymns. He was wearing like dark clouds shrouded in like like he was wearing, I get it, he was like this tall lanky dude. He was wearing black tracksuits that were with a hoodie, right? But I saw that it was him. He then takes me to like some place, ferries. I guess these people don't actually be walking, either taking a taxi, but they be ferrying these people, because they be actually giving poltergeist, whatever. He sort of kind of took me to some town Nagasi, and in this town Kasi, it was just littered with hymns. It was littered with many hymns. Like, it was like a town full of these guys wearing black hoodies. However, these ones in this town, that's like because this guy was in a position of leadership. He was given some kind of elevation in this cult. The ones in the Kasi were not wearing, they were not tall and lanky. They were just regular sized men. However, they were wearing these black tracksuits with these hoodies, and they were just like, it's like it was a town full of them. And these were the people that he was leading. He was making me go to live in a town where these people were the inhabitants of it. And then he led me to a boutique store, Yadiaparo, and then said, this is what I am giving you. Seeing as they would not let you win the trophy, you've got a store, Yadiaparo. You've got a designer store, you've got your own clothing store. But this clothing store where I was selling Diaparo is not like, indeed I had ambitions to come up with a line, a brand for clothes, they're modest for Christian women. But like in this dream, like this here store was, it looked like his paza sasekasi. Name patas akona mezingabugegi. They were not nice, pretty, like stuff that I would also be putting on my body, yo. It did not represent my sense of fashion. It was almost like the Lord was showing me with that it's a counterfeit, it's a fake, it's not what I gave you. For neither eye has seen, nor ear heard, nor mind conceived the things which I have prepared for people who wait on me. This here man can only ever give you counterfeits. This here man can only ever award you that which I didn't give you. So while in waking life it might have looked like an actual proper store where I am selling clothes that are my own line, in spiritual terms it was like a decrepit, impoverished, random, weird shop where you're selling really cheap clothes in the Kasi. And even then you don't have very high-end customers. It's like you're selling second-hand panties, like things that don't nobody be supposed to be wearing here in these streets. And guess who was allied with me in this boutique? Okay, see, that looked like a spaza shop. And so selling these clothes, a cousin that was at absolute enmity with me, bewitched the living daylights out of my life. She was in approval of this joint, and I was with her as a partner in this business. Listen, all the people that bewitched not all, but a lot of the people that bewitched the living daylights out of me were in this dream in some capacity. First, the chick, what tennis match represented the calamity that befell me in the office. My cousin had come at the prospects of my career as well, and she was now represented in this dream with me partnering with her in business. And this dude was trying to get me by force, and he essentially embarked on a Hegelian dialectic strategy to marry me by destroying my life and causing everyone that I've ever trusted and loved to turn on me. That even though in broad daylight I might win a case, or the evidence might be in my favor, I will nonetheless lose. Because listen, just like he threatened me with an apple on the head, you don't know who I am. I can make your life a living nightmare, but I guess he loved me too much to kill me. He didn't kill me in my dream, but he certainly threatened me. But when I lost my job, he then was like, listen, Garawa, I love you. Yaktanda, I'll take you I'll show you the world. I will give you clout. I will. Essentially, everybody that hurt you, I'm 17, all these people that broke you, I will recover to you clout. I will give you back everything, baby. I'll give you back everything. And that was his soul. He met me at the gate of that tennis court and then walked me to a town full of his occult people, essentially introduced me to a cult. He wanted to introduce me to go and live in the darkness and then see what the darkness can do to me, for me, not so much to me, so that I can look back at those that like denied me justice back in the day, back in the office, so that one day they would look back on some dinja. Look at what my husband did for me. Now, my husband, this dude that every woman, including some white woman, one more African, obviously being out here speaking about how she could devour him. The dude that got a grizzly bear all up in his grill because chicks just can't stop flirting. The dude that every lady out here making like LL Cool J, ladies love Cool James. And ladies love him so much that if he marries me, honey, all those people that treated you like trash from 17, they're gonna be like, yo, Acosta ukarabo umsebenzi wakhe. And this dude rocked up and was like, I'm gonna be a man to you, baby, and I'm gonna go and take you. And all these people are treated like you ain't jack. But was his soul, because after all, weren't we gonna be this power couple? After all, peas in a pod, hey? After all, we got so much in common, and you and I can make good music together, my man. Like and I'm the hard dude that everybody wants, but I'm gonna choose you. Every woman out to be putting their cat fur on my coat, but I'm gonna let you sleep on my chest that night. I chose you, but you're gonna have to take my children. You're gonna have to accept that I'm a divorced man. But when you marry me, you're gonna have clout, and I'm also going to divorce you from Christianity, and then introduce you into some fake version of Christianity that mixes a whole chunk of witchcraft with Christianity, and then with it, you are gonna finally succeed to conquer that stupid nasty one cross office that did a spell on you that cost you your whole career. This spell that would make colleagues in the office ignore that you're honest and innocent and you're the right one. It literally happened. It literally happened that way. This Tosa chick, I dream about her a whole chunk, and mama like talk about the door where I saw this Tosa chick. I'm not gonna expand on them zinini. One of them of which she was driving me and two other colleagues in a vehicle. Even though she didn't have a driver's license, neither could drive. Nonetheless, in this dream she was driving us. And she got out of the car, she didn't trip or nothing, she just got out. She merely got out of a moving car, leaving me and two other colleagues in the car. And this vehicle drove on right ahead to a cliff and fell into the cliff. It landed on the bubblegum and bounced back up again, this car, and landed on the surface, essentially sparing the lives of me and these two other women. And then when I got out of the car, I found myself in these prefabs out snacks. Nonetheless, I survived what she did to me, however, not enough to be entirely recovered. That was one of the dreams. Listen, there are many others. I just want to let you know, this is like, listen, the country has been handed over to these Midianites, these Amalekites, these occult practitioners, and I'm a child of God. And that is frankly the only reason why we survived that crash in the cliff where it did not finish us off, but nonetheless, we were not entirely recovered. Lo and behold, one of the ladies, after I lost my career, well, at that stage I didn't think I'd lost my career, just a job. Turned out it was a career. Anyway, whatever. After I lost my job, one of the ladies that was in the car with me took up voluntary retrenchment. The other one, I don't know what happened with her, but I wouldn't be surprised if she shortly afterwards also left MTN. This chick wanted us to leave MTN because we were the only viable competition for her, and she wanted to be like clout heavy. So she got rid of me and some other chick. I lost a job through injustice. The other one took up voluntary retrenchment. I caught wind of it, and that's how I know. I don't know, however, what happened to the other one, but I would not be surprised if somehow from MTN, because that chick did it. I was the only one that resisted the spell enough for me to want to keep my job. But then, because I wanted to keep my job spat me out. So I was full of resistance, while everybody else just glided in her sorcery. I guess that's why the car came back up again. Everybody survived to live to tell a story, but they were in a much different situation than that which would have been preserved if this Xhosa beast did not come on us. I know this is South Africa. Yeah, I've been speaking about this crazy country. I've been saying all of y'all be nasty Amalekite-esque, and you be in all kinds of denial about it. Anyway, whatever. And then right now it's 7:38 in the morning, so we're not trying to be laboring. Papa, somebody gotta at some point stop talking, you know what I'm saying? Mara, what is important to understand is that my evidence was exculpatory. It was in favor of me. I evidently won. I was obviously done in under. I was obviously innocent. Yet every single person in the office chose rather to favor not so much the fatso wamkosa. Yeah, call me fatphobic, I don't care. By the Indian chick. So what I'm getting at is that the true culprit in waking life was my bestie, the Indian girl. But the culprit in spirit was the Xhosa chick. The Indian chick in and of herself did witchcraft on me, but it paled in comparison to Yam Xhosa Uli. What that Xhosa chick did is what cost my career. And it was made to look as if though I was sown discord and was at enmity, severe one at that, at which, with a chick with whom I was really tight in the office, the Indian chick. We went everywhere together. We were like Cher and Dion and Clueless, inseparable. You could not find me anywhere where she was at and vice versa. It's like we were like twins conjoined by the hip. If at all we were not at meetings separately doing our own thing, we were chilling together. Me and this Indian chick were tight. We were really close. Same age. Yeah, okay. This chick betrayed me. Yeah, another Indian chick. Fine. Cool, she did. And she did use sorcery. Again, swimming pool type thing. According to the Lord, it was a low order sorcery. What she did was low order in comparison to what that other chick did. And the Indian chick never tried to cost my whole career altogether. She didn't try to get me to leave MTN, only to be subservient to her. Whenever I get a lesser or less intense emsebenzini, kodwa lo womkhosi was like uzohamba, uzohamba. I want you to leave MTN. Yo, dog. Well, she did not. To her, it was like, listen, I didn't expect that she would get fired in so heinous a capacity as this. It would have been great if she just quit her job and got another one somewhere else. But I mean, I guess this also works. Only guilty as to how her witchcraft fruitioned where I was concerned. But nonetheless, she didn't repent. The Indian chick was a Hindu. So hambani kodwa lo muntu lona khosi ngana egima egana edenglang blue anarata we apara mo di outfitting tsa gagwe tsa setho elore the dude all that I had a crush on when I'm from Grace Bible Church long ago. Apparently she was always in the church. She apostatized and then decided to she's going to read tarot cards, see clairvoyance, and visit very hectic witch doctors to deal with people. Gracie why is a lawyer? I could say can't make Grace why I'm tired. She used to walk around in the office with a big fat chunky dangling turquoise cross made of wood because she wanted to call herself Funzalwa. What defect apostatizer. And when the dude started working at MTN, let's say her name was Witumelo. Hey, Witumelo. I was like, how? What's why Witumelo? Twaka story abuti. Hey, this world is small. And he's like, oh no, I was wrong, now this chick was closer to age to dude that I had a crush on whose feet I was at the threshing floor like Boaz. So essentially they came up together. I'm sure Boaz 10 years more or less. So this chick now 10 years more or less. She's older than everybody else that is doing much better than her in their career, and she decided that she's going to cost the careers of 3 black women. Well, my career was cost altogether. However, the other 2 I believe were maintained in their careers. However, they likely left MT. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't stay there much longer. But the one I was certain took up voluntary retrenchment. This woman had just had children, a child. Like she just kept popping babies, right? In the latter year, like in just the last few years when I was working at MTN, she was pregnant almost every year. And like Papa, it was not long since she gave birth to her last child, a baby girl. She couldn't afford to lose her job. She and her husband were living from check to check. And yet she took up voluntary retrenchment in this economy. Where are you going to find another job? Maybe she did find another one because God was gracious. Nonetheless, she got kicked out of that company, MTN that is. Buy, die, leave a XC off a Xhosa rubbish. Very well. Xhosa, while the whole charges that were spurred up against me that were, what is the word that I'm looking for over here? Trumped up. All the charges that were trumped up against me came through this Indian chick. Nonetheless, they were also bogus. They were so bizarre. And they were so, like, listen, nobody expected me to lose my job. The way that thing was just obviously fabricated and abantu never wrong. Me go clear things next week, dog. And listen, it cost my whole career. And then what's worse is that I lost a case meeting as a CCMA. Labor court would not take my case. It did not even litigate it. That's why today I don't even go. I gave up. My colleagues decided that they're gonna testify against me falsely. I was shocked at the CCMA at their report. I was shocked. I was like, what the heck? I want to about Namanga, and it's provable. It's provable that they lied. I could not believe, though, the people who were willing to testify against me. Listen, the dream came true. Here it is that I was at a tennis match, and I evidently won against not so much the Xhosa chick in waking life, but the Indian one. I then got fired anyway from my job without cause. I lost the case at the CCMA despite my evidence being overwhelming in favor of me. And my colleagues testified against me when I was innocent and they were not even involved in my case. It was so weird what happened. Xhosa Lona was like, yo, I did it. And then I got a dream where I saw them toasting and cheering after I lost my case at the CCMA. So essentially, I'm never going to go back to work again. And when they were toasting and cheering the loss of my career, the Indian chick was sad. In my dream, she was sad. On some, my goodness, like they thoroughly think that Karabo deserved to lose her job. I started this thing. She sat there on some, I started this thing, swallowing her guilt, carrying on with life. Teased in the office for being in an affair with a boss of mine that I frankly think was in the closet gay, so he was not interested in women. Nonetheless, they teased her of having an affair with my boss, and that's why she won the case. But the person that was actually the strings behind all this, was some cause. And she not only cost my career, but the career of 2 other black chicks. Listen, are we as South Africa at the mercy of these nasties? It appears so, but no, we're not. Now let's talk about the 2 chicks that she threw out. One of them, at some point, I attended a week at Rema of fasting and praying. Invited her to some roadshow or some week in Japan, like I said, of fasting and praying. Cooking again with Chris Hill. And she was like, amen, hallelujah. I bought her a book. Mara, it was at the time I didn't understand doctrine properly, so Bukaya thing in a woman, thou art loosed, TD and she read it and she was like, ooh. At some point I was fellowshipping with her, Mara. She fell off the wagon and decided to pass me shade, give me grief, listen to nasty voices on the periphery, and so essentially apostatize from me, apostatize from the church, apostatize from true Christianity, and persecute a child of God. She was successfully made to walk in discord against me. Yes, I understand what's going on, so our fellowship stopped. That's the one chick that was in that car. And then the other chick, we used to fellowship a whole chunk in Christ, but unlike the other chick, Yana, she was obviously lukewarm. I was trying to make her hotter, but it never took. Kodwa, she kept on calling herself a Christian. She came to work one time and said that she got a dream where they were she had a dream of a whole bunch of doctors operating on her, and she was not even under anesthetic. She could feel everything, and she could feel Ingati they wanted to kill her, but for some strange reason they didn't succeed to kill her. And from that dream, flat out, outright, I said to her, sisters, that's the Lord showing you that something is coming up against you, but the Lord is preserving you, protecting you. Doctors sometimes in dreams represent witch doctors, and if they're operating on you without anesthetic and you can feel everything, but like you are, what do you call this, you're surviving it, it says that God is preserving you in spite of you. It says that God is preserving you in spite of you, but you need to get yourself a little bit stronger with the Lord, that you might be able to fight, that you might not be surgically operated on at all. So essentially, God already showed her that you're fluffy, you're lukewarm, you're walking around in a namby-pamby disposition, and because of that, all occult practitioners are just going to have a field day now. That's why they were operating on you. We are not anesthetic. Because I preserved you. But you're alive just barely. By the skin of your teeth, listen, entering heaven as with a fire. You are not serious or lukewarm or weak. I told her, Mara Azanga was she did not juve herself again. So because Azanga was juva, she took up voluntary retrenchment. They operated on her, and she got out of a job that she was not supposed to get out of. The other one, I don't know what happened with her. This chick, one course, I came at her too. This is just listen, a brief little tiny minuscule kernel-sized preview of Buloiba Mkosa Ona. I had to highlight Buloiba Mkosa Ona and what it did, and to show you, to let you know how under heaven it fruitioned in waking life. I lost everything, and justice was denied me despite me being evidently innocent. Well, after that whole tennis match happened, who met me at the gate? Out here, and then I was in his cult, and then I was out here accommodating Abantu that I am actually supposed to be at comprehensive enmity with. My cousin was coming up against me. She wanted me in her own image, doing strange things. She would have been happy for me to join a cult, and she was in the town that was full of cult practitioners. Yet nonetheless, however, in waking life, we were at enmity. When I woke up from that dream, because of my enmity already at that stage with my cousin, I was like, I would not understand my dreams comprehensively until I lost everything. Right? Like, oh, at this stage I had already lost everything and I was already at enmity, so I understood that Toro Elo was telling me, at which point I then realized, what's going on now? I just like, listen, I was so surprised. I was so shocked. I was like, can this guy love me that much? Like, why am I that guy? As an assignment, or like I said, hang out in front of a God-fearing woman as a man that's insincere with the Lord, and she will be like a lava lamp, mesmerizing. You will struggle to get your eyes off there, but it's not for you to grab. This dude left himself to bask outside of my ministry, watched me stride in the office, glide just as he was gliding, and was like, but my goodness, she's so perfect. Why is he allow Anje to fall in love? Every new post, at that stage I was not doing videos, I was only writing. Every post I would upload on my blog. Abuti, why are you sitting in front of my ministry? You think for the same thing. Read my content in my blog and then read the content in your own blog. You crush that which God elevates. The institution of marriage you hate, God loves it. Divorce you promulgate, God defies it. You are at enmity with the cross. So how in the world do you think we're birds of a feather? Mara. You will be enamored with the woman that surpasses them all. Lendo that was like, I want her, got angry, threatened me, did not want to kill me, however, because Onangata, and after I lost the job, he actually tried to get me to see where he was coming from. Kamologa in this capacity, go tennis courting in. When I woke up, I was like, let's they're littered. Like that's been like pick it up. I don't know what to do. Okay? No, Azangwa Pelada, guys. Azangwa Pelada. When then I was living, I was in my apartment, yet to, however, loose. My